This lecture is on Excel Level 1, Chapter 2, using an absolute cell reference. Before I begin this lecture, I need to go over two things with you. One is called a cell reference. Another thing is called absolute cell reference. And that definition will help you understand when to use absolute and when to use relative cell references. A cell reference is dealing with these guys right here, like plan amount. You have a plan amount in B3, you have a plan amount for a different company, customer in B4 and B5 and so on. These are called relative cell references here because they change. As you go down in your worksheet, you can see that these amounts are changing relative to the customers they correspond with. An absolute cell reference refers to a cell in a specific location. In this particular exercise that we're going to talk about an increase of 10%. That increase is found in cell reference B12. It only occurs one time. It is a specific location. The thing is that when we create a formula, in Excel you have to tell the formula what they should do with a relative cell reference and what they should do with the absolute cell reference. Absolute cell references we do not want to change when we copy the formula, but relative cell references we do want to copy. We do want it to change when we copy the formula. So this is an example that I want to show you. I'm going to click in C3. I'm going to tell Excel I'm creating my own formula. My equal sign goes here. I'm going to click in B3 times my location is B12. Now B12 is a specific location. We do not want it to change this location when we copy. So I'm going to go in front of B12 and I'm going to put a $sign. That means make this location absolute so that when you copy it, it will not change this particular location of B12. B12 will not become B13 or B14. It will stay B12. Now when you look at the formula, you're going to see the relative is going to change. B3, when I copy it, is going to become B4 and so on and so forth. So this is how it looks. B4, B12, B5, B12, B6, B12, B7, B12, B8, B12. So B12 does not change. The reason why it's not changing because we have told it that it is absolute by placing the $sign in front of the B and in front of the 12. Now in this particular employee training, we need to find the weighted average. And again, when they talk about average, we know that it is a function. It is a built-in function Excel has provided for you. So we can go up here to Auto Sum, click on the drop-down arrow, come down to the word average. It's going to give us the locations of cell range of B12 through B17 to D17, and then all we have to do is press enter. Now we're going to copy this formula, and you can see that this is a relative cell reference because when we copy it, it's going to change according to these things that's located that corresponds to it. So we're going to copy it all the way down here, and these are the different averages, but you can see this is B18 because we're on row 18. This is B19 because we're dealing with information that's on row 19. This is B20, so this right here is relative. Again, we're going to use the averages to find out the training averages for plumbing for each category, which is plumbing, electrical, and carpentry. So we can come here and click on the auto sum, come down and click on average. And this is my range I want to use, the B17 to B22. I'm going to press enter. Now when I copy this formula all the way across, it's going to change to its locations. So this is again relative cell references. Now I'm going to go back into and I'm going to delete my weighted average out here. Press the delete key. And I'm going to come back here and I'm going to do something a little bit different because what I want to do is add the weighted average of all these guys together. So I'm going to come here and do equal B17 times B24 plus C17 times C24 plus D17 times D24. Now, every time I have a 24, I need to make it to be absolute because this is exactly what I want. Every time I copy these formulas, I want those locations to be there every time. The only way that they won't change that specific location is if I put the $sign before the row, the $sign before the column. There we go. And when I copy it, you should get everything right. There we go. We did it. So if you can see, my B24 stays here, C24 stays here, D24 stays here, but it now is B18, C18, D18. You can see I'm using mixed cell references. One is just a relative, the other one is absolute. Absolute always has the $sign before the row, $sign before the column. I'm going to change this to 30, and it's not going to affect anything. It's just going to not change D24 to 40. And you can see as I use this, it automatically updates it as we go about.